Hi folks, just wanted to give you a quick overview of the function of the ePortfolio that is in my courses. ePortfolio can be found in the Reports drop-down menu, the bottom of it, just as you can see right there. So when you get started with ePortfolio, you have to realize that it's kind of a two-step process. The first thing that you need to do is to add artifacts. When you open up the ePortfolio, this is what you see. You see a place where you can add files, and that's where you're going to upload all the files that you've been doing all semester long. So you click on Add Files, and then you'll get this with the upload, and you can drag the files in there, and what shows up then will show up below there a whole list of all of the things that you've uploaded. This is the first step that you have to do before you can actually build the ePortfolio. It has to have something to build, so you need to have your files in there. So once you've added all of your files, they're called artifacts in ePortfolio, then you go to build your ePortfolio. And the first step in doing that is to create a new presentation. The ePortfolios look a little bit like a presentation in PowerPoint or a little bit like a web page. They're kind of a mixture of the two. When you click on New Presentation, you're going to get this tab come up, and the very first thing that you want to do is to type in this title of your presentation. I have here Sustainable Business Strategies. Remember, this is supposed to be a professional ePortfolio, not a student ePortfolio, so you shouldn't say Man 4781. You should call it something that you would show to a prospective employer. You also shouldn't call the files Week 1, Week 2. You should call them the topic of what they are. Once you have added artifacts to the ePortfolio and created your new presentation, then you're going to add the artifacts from the general area into your specific presentation. To do that, what you want to do is to click on the Content Layout tab in your ePortfolio presentation. And then you will notice this open up here, and you see the pages. It says New Page here, and what you want to do is to add component. This is where you will be adding all of the different files that you have uploaded. Then you're going to select the type of content that you're going to add, and that is going to be an artifact. There are other things that you could add, including reflections and learning objectives and whatever. Those are more for a student ePortfolio, and what we're trying to create here is a professional ePortfolio. And so therefore you want to select Artifact. And you will see that when you select the artifact, you'll be able to pull in all of the files that you have uploaded. The next thing that you want to do is to start designing your presentation. Again, you're still in the Content tab, and you want to identify what content you want to show up on your page and how you want to show it up. So the first thing that you want to do is to select the presentation navigation. Do you want the navigation on the side? Do you want it on the top? And then you want to edit your page layout. Do you want 2 content areas, or do you want 1 content area? Generally speaking, in our ePortfolios, you usually only need 1 content area, but it's entirely up to you. We're still designing our presentation. So once you have added all of your components and you are trying to design your layout, one of the things I think is really important is that you go in and you change some of the things that are the default titles, like New Page. New Page does not look like a professional ePortfolio. So you want to go in and click where it shows there under pages, and you'll see it comes up with the new page, and you can rename the title at that time to what is appropriate for your page. So you can have it, again, don't use week 1, week 2, week 3. You can put them all on one page if you want, or you can add additional pages. If you have it on one page, then think of what it would be that you would want to call it. And again, in this particular example that I'm showing you, what I did was talk about working with therapy dogs. Now, what that has to do with sustainable business strategies is nothing, but this is just the example that we have here, and you'll see why I picked that title as we go through. Continuing to design the presentation, the next thing you're going to do is to take a look at the banner and the themes. So the first, in clicking on the banner, essentially you just have the title, which I have How to Save the World, and you can add a description there. For the theme, click on the theme and then go in and pick one of the themes that's there. There are a lot of them, and you can then tweak them afterwards by clicking on the little paintbrush there. When you click on the paintbrush, then you're going to get all of these different options. You can add a photograph. This was a background main area, and I added a photograph there. But there are many things that you can do all throughout to edit the theme style and make it your own. Once you have it the way you want it, you can click on View Presentation, and it will open it up in a new window, and you can take a look at what it looks like. Now, as you can see here, this is not done yet because I still have new page there, and you would want to change that. The other thing that you would want to pay attention to is whether there's sufficient contrast. This is too busy of a background. You probably wouldn't want something like that, or you'd want different coloring here. You can make changes. You can change the titles of your files so that they make sense. And all of those things are things that you need to do. Once you have it the way you want it, it is very, very important that you share it. If you don't share it, I'm not going to be able to look at it. And if I can't see it, then, and I don't get a hold of you before the end of class, then I will give you an incomplete, because this is worth a lot of points, and I wouldn't want to give you a lower grade just because you haven't shared it. So please do share it. When it comes up like this, then you will see this is the pop-up that comes up. You want to make sure that you click on the area that says Allow Public Viewing of the Presentation. Don't worry about it. It's got a URL that nobody will find. But what you need to do is to copy the URL, and that is what you will submit in the discussion board so that the rest of us can take a look at it. So anybody will be able to see it who has that particular link. So again, if you want to share it with other people, then you can show it to prospective employers and all of that. The other thing that you can do, you'll notice up here, there's also an export. When you are graduating, you'll want to export it and take it with you so that you have it for yourself in the future. If you have any questions, there are tutorials in My Courses support. You can take a look and find the ePortfolio section in the My Courses tutorials that are in the student support. So, and if you have any questions, you can certainly ask me. So let's go ahead and get started and let your creative juices flow.